School officials say a policy prohibiting political displays not related to curriculum. It already exists, yet many examples listed would not fall under it. Well, the trustee who brought this forward says she wants the district to go even further. Citing, quote, a number of parents reaching out to her about what she calls displays of personal ideologies in classrooms, Conroe ISD trustee Melissa Duncan asked her fellow board members to crack down on them.
I wish I was shocked by each of the examples that were shared with me. However, I am aware these trends have been happening for many years.
When pressured to share one of those examples, Duncan talked about a first-grade student whose parent claimed they were so upset by a poster showing hands of people of different races with a message about inclusivity that they transferred classrooms.
Just so I understand, so you are seriously suggesting that you find objectionable a poster indicating that all are included.
I never said that. I gave an example.
Duncan wouldn't say whether she found that poster objectionable, just that she wants to avoid, quote, situations like that by having the board adopt stricter standards and adhere to state policies already in place, prohibiting teachers from displaying political items not relevant to curriculum. Another trustee even asked if the poster was illegal and went on to claim previous displays of pride flags were.
We have violation of this law.
When asked if Bible verses were also in violation of existing policy and should be removed, Duncan struggled to respond.
Would you agree?
I don't know.
Because
Shannon Ryan, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So you saw the video, and I had to play it because I needed to get better context than what I had been reading over the last couple of days. Because the story was like mind-boggling. So I couldn't understand what was the true issue. And as I watched the video, like I said, then went back to read the articles, I understand completely what the problem is. The problem is when you give people an inch, they take a yard. You know, like back in the day when you was a kid and your mom or your grandparents, your parents would tell you, well, you want to do something, and they say no, or if they ask you why something was the way it was, and they say, don't ask me the question, don't worry about it. That's just what it is, and pretty much let that be the reason. When you are a kid, that is upsetting because you feel that you're owed an explanation, but as you get older and you live long enough, you realize I understood why they said that. They understood why it should be like that, because once you open that Pandora's box, it's damn near impossible to close it. Let me explain while I go through the story. This is off of ABC13.com. And it reads, Conroe ISD trustee argues displays of racial inclusivity and pride in classrooms should be removed. Now, when you think of just humans as in general, you would think, why would there be a problem with a poster in the classroom with two people holding hands? It don't say if it's male on male and woman and woman or male and female. It just says a poster with two people holding hands of different races, and that's an issue. But like I said, let's continue and get some more context. And it says some Conroe ISD trustees want to crack down on displays of racial inclusivity and pride, saying they represent symbols of person ideology. And again, when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't see what the problem is. See, but I was looking at from the wrong angle. I understand what they're saying about this. I could really care less because everybody has their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own, like this says, personal ideologies. And that's fine. You know, people want pride flags and some people don't want pride flags. Side note, did y'all know, for all of my pro-black chakra studying people, something I learned today, or but because I was told this today or yesterday, that y'all know that the colors of the pride flag are the exact opposite, or it's in the exact opposite in color or order as the chakras of the body when you study those. And the chakra that's on top on the pride flag, the color represents sexuality, which is supposed to be at the bottom of the totem pole, because sex is so primitive. And anyway, I said before in the past video that sex, anybody can do that. Every animal, every human being that can reproduce, can have sex, you can reproduce and be dead and still make babies. We've seen that or be in a coma and can make babies. We've seen that in stories. But anyway, that's something you can look up. Let me know if I'm wrong. But anyway, like I say, everybody, they have their own ideologies. Some people want the pride flags and displays. A lot of people don't. People want religious stuff displayed. Some people don't. And it goes back and forth, back and forth. So when you start out to where you're supposed to be a country built on Christian values, and then all of a sudden an atheist come in and say they don't want prayer or pledge allegiance to a flag, the Christian flag, in the school because their child is an atheist. And because, they're paying tax dollars. Their tax dollars are help fund the schools. And so they do have supposedly a right to voice their opinion. And you allow this small group of people to voice their opinion and to make these changes. Things that went downhill from there, so it seems. But it's not unlike the LMNOP community, where they come in demanding, you want equal rights, you want to be married, okay, whatever. But that's because the government's involved. But if the government wasn't involved in marriages and making all that legal and using tax dollars and stuff like that to incentivize marriage, you wouldn't have that problem, right? But anyway, so you start with taking that out of school. Now, then you get to the gender and the bathrooms and all this stuff, which, if y'all pay attention, ask yourself the question, why is all this so important in settings of children? Why are they so gung-ho dead set on making these changes in schools? Like, you don't hear you hear a little bit about military, but not a whole lot about military and a whole lot about these corporations and these companies. But it's in schools. It's because they're trying to teach your kids all this stuff about inclusion and how to, love everybody, and there's nothing wrong with people doing certain things. And if you think something is wrong, then there's something wrong with you. And you got all these kids that's confused and stuff like that. It's very interesting. It's very dangerous. Which is why, if you want to do the right thing, you do your homeschool. Teach your kids at home, or take them to a school that has your religious or you're conservative or you're liberal, whatever beliefs you have, that's what the school you put them in. That's how you keep them around them people. Because everybody is not going to like everything that you say or you do. So, and you shouldn't force everybody to like it. Just like y'all shouldn't try to force me to like something because, or to approve or to agree or to, accept certain things, because I'm just not going to do it. Shout out to Neo. Let's read a little bit more here. Let's say, but this is it. So, because when I saw this statement here, this is what kind of threw me off, right? It said one trustee said a child was traumatized by posters showing different colored children holding hands and had to switch classrooms. That's what my issue was. I had to remove all that other bullcorn that all these other throwed off adults are arguing about, which shouldn't even be an argument, because really, if you think about it, let's just talk about America and other countries, right? You look at like the crime rate, the prison system, population. America's like the United States, to be specific. It's like the worst. It's one of the worst in the whole entire world. But they talk about these other countries who got these hard laws. You remember like the sassy trucker went to Dubai, yelling, disrespecting a man at the rental car place, and she got detained, passport taken, had to stay at an Airbnb that she had to pay for about 3-4 months. Then they said, hey, you pay us this money, we'll let you go. And she had to go. We all thought that was just unethical and wasn't fair and this and the third, but it doesn't matter what we think because these are their rules. But these countries, from statistics, show they have less crime than we do. The prison population is smaller than ours. When someone commits a crime, they get punished for real. Just so to make sure that you won't commit this crime again. Things like that go on in these other countries, and these other countries have a majority or specific religious belief that they follow. You see what I'm saying? Like Dubai. What is that? Like Islam or, Sunnis, Muslims? I'm not sure. Whichever one it is, y'all correct me. But we know it's like an Islamic country or Muslim country. And that's what the government goes by. They go by that Quran. And they live by it. And they govern their citizens by it. This country, United States of America, does not do that. If they did, they don't do it any longer. They do it by kumbaya. Well, can't say kumbaya because that's a spiritual saying, but they govern themselves by everybody get along. I don't want to make nobody upset, or if they're upset, what can I do to make you happy? And then it's like you make them happy, then you upset this people over here. It's like, okay, well, what can I do to make you happy? And then you do something to appease them. And then next, you try to make everybody compromise, but it doesn't work that way because some people are not going to want to compromise. And you have to understand that. So what you have to do is stick to a set of laws, a set of rules, governed by, in my opinion, some religious, spiritual beliefs. Something with some rules and laws that you abide by, right or wrong, fair or not. That's what you go by. You either like it or you don't. You pay the consequences, and that's it. And it will keep your country and your household running smooth. If it can work in your house, tell me why it cannot work for the government. But this government also, but then think about it too. Africa, which is like the richest richest continent in the world, have the countries that have the most natural resources, have the richest resources in the world, most of the richest resources in the world. Most of them countries, it's in the top tier of like GDP, which is not as much as America or other westernized countries, but we know why that is because the Western countries control all of Africa, the majority of Africa, with their resources. the richest countries in Africa, they are ran by, they're governed by Islamic beliefs. I'm just saying. But they have all the resources. And a couple of them have, Christian, no, actually Roman Catholic beliefs. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they're governed. You govern yourself by laws, you govern yourself by laws, spiritual, religious laws, and you don't get, you don't be like radical or extreme. The country will run better. It won't be 100%, but it'll run better. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You get past all that. The problem I had is, how does a 7-year-old child become traumatized because she saw a picture of two children holding hands and had to switch classrooms? People, 7-year-olds are not racist. Children are not born racist. People are not born racist. Which I mean, that means kids, teenagers, adults, old people, whatever. Any human being are not born racist. They're taught that as they get older. And they're taught to, and they have evil in them. We all have sin in us. But to be taught and to understand at 7 years old that a picture traumatizes you so much that you think that child asked to switch classroom because she saw a picture? And if she did, why? The question should have been, who taught that child to be traumatized by that? That's what the question should have been. Because whoever taught that child is racist to the core. And this is in Conroe. This is down there going south, Texas on 45 or what have you. So I know them little towns, Conroe and Vida and, stuff, little towns like that. Here's some history of racism. But when you look at the video, what do you see? You see they show mainly blacks, maybe ADOS, FBAs, and Hispanics. Didn't see too many Anglo-Americans, but the person up here starting all this drama was a white woman, as you saw. So makes you kind of wonder what's really going on. But yeah, people, this 7-year-old should not even thought about. This shouldn't even be part of their vernacular. But it's just like 8, 9, 10-year-old, 13-year-old child talking about they want to become a boy or they want to become a girl. The opposite gender for whatever reason. And a parent going with that, allowing that, it's just pure ignorance to me. The child is not old enough to understand what it is to be a male or a female. Just starting out. You know what I'm saying? Little boy, his nuts ain't dropped yet. He ain't, don't know what the heck it means not to be what the heck it means to be a man. A child of 7 years old is traumatized. They don't understand racism. All they know is that their mama, their grandparents, or daddy, whoever, people in their family, they see interracial probably dating or friends, and they got something to say. Thinking all them kids don't understand what I'm talking about, but kids understand everything. Probably seen some stuff on the news and the adults in the room talking reckless. All that little racial ideologies and stuff are displayed in the living room or at the dinner table. And the kids just sitting back and soaking it up. And at that age, that's all they can do is soak it up. Soak up the racism. And then get in class and they see that picture and they say something. And they get upset. Then they go home and tell their parents. And because their parents don't want their kids seeing that or being in it's bad enough they gotta be in the classroom with people of other races or other colors. Now y'all saying they can hold their hands? Nah, I need them to change class immediately. But yeah, man, this is like ignorance on the highest level. We're arguing about, as adults, we're arguing about the wrong stuff. We're arguing about childish, stupid stuff that we shouldn't even be an issue at all. Need to figure out, like I say, how to reprogram this child to understand that human beings are just human beings. That's what you got to do. This racism thing, if you want to stop that, you got to do like they do. Start with the babies and teach them from the ages of birth to like 9. So that way they'll know and they won't have these racist thoughts. So when they get older and they hear it, people talk that way. You know, they look at them like, man, something wrong with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, tell me what you think about this crazy story, man. Straight out of the good old state of Texas, man. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.